have our next speakers, Anand and Sreelakshmi, who will be talking about building a new kind of tool for RFCs. Anand is a co-founder of CQ2. Previously, he worked as a product engineer at Frappe. He's an SWE intern at HackerRank and Google Summer of Code student with a Python software foundation. He is also the founder of Samai.app, which won the FOSS Hack 3.0. Sreelakshmi is a co-founder of CQ2. Previously, she was a Google Summer of Code mentor and a student at Mission Support System. Give it up a cheers for the upcoming speakers. The stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Hi. So I'm Anand. Our journey began in December 2023. So I was having a written discussion with my friend on Telegram. So over a bunch of topics, it went like this. So he would send me a paragraph, and I would take my time to read and understand, and then code parts of it and reply back, something like this. Then he would reply back doing the same. So this went on for a few days, and it got quite complex. So basically, replies to a particular topic are spread across different comments. And so it's hard to manage all the topics in our head, and like we need to mentally manage all the codes and the replies. Yep. So while wondering about this problem, I remembered having a discussion at my previous employer. So we used a platform similar to Discourse, and the discussion was like it started with a long post followed by a series of long comments and their long replies, and it got fairly complex, like more complex than this discussion with my friend on Telegram. So we started exploring if there's a tool for these kinds of discussions with a thread, separate organized thread for each code, so that we can have a properly organized discussion. And we didn't find any tool, so we started building something. We designed a few prototypes. So this one, it looks like it had an infinite canvas with each thread as a node. Then we moved to a sliding pane design. So this whole thing scrolls horizontally. So we launched CQ2 on Hacker News. Like we built a demo and launched it on Hacker News as a tool for thoughtful and coherent discussions. We had a landing page and a demo and an early access form. It didn't go well. We got like 2 comments, and we didn't get any early access signups. So what went wrong? We realized that we should have positioned it differently. So no one's actually looking for a tool for thoughtful and coherent discussions. We realized that we should have made it more relatable, like a work communication tool. So, and that's what we did. So we added chat channels for personal and group chats, and we added post channels for sharing posts with the same kind of threaded UI. And since we believed that writing first companies with writing first cultures like Stripe, Amazon, and etc., those would be our ideal customers. So we launched CQ2 again as a work communication tool for writing first companies. And that didn't go well as well. So we got like 1 comment and no early access signups. So next, what happened? So we still believed in the potential of this tool. So instead of having a general purpose tool for work communication, we decided to explore into different domains which had complex discussions. So we read about how researchers discuss complex topics. We read about how public policy experts discuss complex topics. And we found that the discussions on Less Wrong, it's a community forum built for, like they have a long range of, they have a large variety of topics. The discussions there are fairly complex, and CQ2 is the discussions there are a great use case for CQ2. So you can see there are like hundreds of comments, 700 comments, and this is uh, these are 2-3 comments of the long post. So the post is on the top, and then the comments are following it. But we talked to them and realized that the audience doesn't really relate to the problem, and they just want a simple forum-like system. This is mostly like Reddit, so you can quote and reply in the tree-like thread structure. Then we talked to lots of more people. I remembered at IndiaFOSS I had met someone who had given a talk related to public policy. So I reached out to him to get his advice on if CQ2 can be used for public policy discussions. He gave his opinions from his experience, and he also shared that the Python community, which is unrelated, they have complex technical discussions over their PP. It's called their Python enhancement proposals. So the Python community has discussions over their PEP documents. So he shared a few links, and I checked them out, and I got really excited because those are a great use case of CQ2. So this is how a PEP discussion starts. They are done on Discourse right now. And the person who shared, the person is Rahul from FOSS United. He gave the talk in IndiaFOSS. So we decided to relaunch CQ2 again, this time as a tool for complex discussions. But this time we also had a blog post. We wrote this, it took around 3 weeks, and we shared it on May 6th night, and the next morning we got, it ended up on top, and we got around 100 comments, and as a result we got 200 plus early access signups. So after going through all the early access signups and going through the comments, we had a surprising realization. So people are comparing CQ2 with Google Docs and Notion pages. And they mentioned how our comment section was so much better than Google Docs and Notion. But in our blog post, we were comparing CQ2 with Discourse, Slack, and Telegram, since that's where we first identified the problem ourselves. So actually, we were building a document discussion tool more similar to Google Docs and Notion than Discourse and Slack. So the next step was talking to users on our early access form. And here's what we learned. So one, most of those people weren't really interested. They just liked the idea and they found it cool. Two, some of them had really interesting ideas on where CQ2 should go. Some of them wanted a particular note-taking tool, a popular one, but in CQ2's UI. One of them wanted a chat app for complex discussions with his partner. And one of them wanted a Reddit, one of them wanted Reddit and Hacker News, but in CQ2's comment section, and so on. And third, 25 of the people from our early access list, they were interested in a technical design document discussion tool. So, and we reached out to them to learn more, and only a few of them replied back, and they were ready to switch and pay. But when we talked further, we realized that they didn't really relate with the problem. They just wanted a tool for technical design documents, and we weren't interested in that because there are already competitors in the same space, like Eraser and Linear. So when we were exploring what to do next, I came across that the Rust community has RFC discussions using GitHub PRs. So RFCs, for those who don't know, RFCs are requests for comments. These are types of design documents which require large amounts of input. So this is how an RFC discussion goes on Rust. You can see there are 156 comments. The document, RFC document, is mentioned in the description, and it's in, you have to open it, it's somewhere else. So it's a long, messy discussion. There are no threads. And remember the Python discussion which Rahul shared, that's a kind of RFC discussion too. So we decided to pivot into a tool for RFCs, since we believed that we can actually make the RFC processes of Rust and Python a lot more productive and delightful. And since Discourse and GitHub PRs are not really meant for RFC discussions and can't handle large-scale discussions of those sorts. Next, I'll invite Sreelakshmi to show you give you a quick overview of CQ2.
Thank you, Anand. So I'll take you through CQ2 and show how is it different from the existing tools. So let's start with Python community. They uses discourse, as you have seen, for the document discussions. So here you can see this is the PEP, that is Python enhancement proposal, and we have this document. We have to open in a different tab. Yeah, so this is the actual document. This is in a different site, and this is the discussion of that document happening in discourse. So two are in different places, and this is a discussion, as you can see. And some pain points faced are all of the general comments to the document and comments to a specific threads. All are mixed up and lined up in a linear fashion, as you can see. And this is a pretty long discussion. You can see there's 218 comments. So it is this every general comment and a specific replies all mixed up in a linear fashion makes it hard to follow. And also we have to manually manage the context. The second pain point is that we can't understand by looking at this discussion or the document what part of the documents have been already discussed and what are remaining, right? You can follow, right? Can you see in this discussion, we understand that some parts of the documents have been discussed, but we can't see which are they. And the third is when a third person comes into the picture and he is particularly interested about a particular section of the document and wants to know more about the comments of related, but he or she has no way other than going through all the comments, that is the 218 comments, and manually picking the comments which he is interested in and replying to them. So that's about the Python community, and something similar happens in the Rust community as well. So along with all of the pain points that I mentioned which happens in discourse, additionally in here, unlike the Python community, the Rust community uses GitHub PRs for the document discussion. Again, this the document is on a different page. Yeah. So this is the document. It's a file, and this is the discussion. Discussion is happening in the conversation section. And we can see another pain point faced is that when we commit an update to the document, the discussions on the outdated document vanishes from the conversation page, which makes it hard to comprehend and understand and follow the discussion. And along with that, the whole discussion is in Markdown and is not formatted. So similar to these two, we also found that communities use Google Docs and Notion pages for discussing, which also lies on the same page, because we have seen that the comment section is a very tiny space and jammed to the side. It is practically impossible to have a good discussion over there. So now let me show you what CQ2 offers. So this is a document. This is actually a simulation of a PEP which I showed you earlier. This is a document on CQ2. So here it is. These yellow highlighted text are the threads. And when I hover, we get a preview on the discussion on the thread and also the number of comments. Yeah, and the blue dot indicates that there is unread comments. So when I click on the highlighted text, an adjacent window opens up which has the comments related to this thread. Unlike the given existing tools, we have this, we have a different section for general comments. So we have 8 general comments here, as you can see, and we have different section for comments, particular comments to a different specific threads. So comments to threads go under this section. So this is the reason why document discussion in CQ2 are well organized, easy to follow, and easy to interact with. So that was the and one more thing, this is the tree feature. So we have, when the discussion gets increasingly complex, we'll have more threads. So navigation is easy with this tree feature. You can get into any, you can navigate to any thread you can, after bake, you can see where are the unread threads and just open those threads and visit them. So that was about the demo. And after concluding the threads, you can actually publish a create final version, which is over there. So create final version by incorporating the changes from the concluded threads. Yeah. And more about CQ2. So we are in talks with some open source communities and organizations which are following RFC discussions. We have a lot of features coming up, such as moderation, review workflows, and notifications, and more. And this question, why open source? So since CQ2 is a tool for RFCs for large-scale communities, our users mostly would be open source developers. So we would like to build an open community together and build CQ2. And finally, if you relate with the problem, if you find CQ2 interesting, if you have ideas or want to contribute, please come and chat with us. And a big thanks to everyone who have supported us throughout this journey. And a shout out to FOSS United community for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.